escaping one prison only to build another. When someone spends their entire life being controlled, you'd think the last thing they'd want is to control someone else. But often, that's exactly what happens. We've seen countless real-life cases where people were trapped in controlling relationships, broke free, and then, consciously or unconsciously, became the ones in control. They start setting all the rules, dictating the terms of their relationships, and ensuring that they're never powerless again. But why does this happen? Why do some survivors of control become controllers themselves? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this happens and how to break the cycle, whether you're experiencing it in yourself or seeing it in someone else. So let's look at the psychology of control and why we repeat what we hate. When you've been controlled for so long, your brain normalizes that dynamic. Some people stay passive and fall into another controlling relationship. Some people become the controller because they never want to feel powerless again. And then we have learnt survival response when control equals safety in childhood. It feels like the only way to protect yourself as an adult. I'd like you to imagine someone who grew up never being able to make a decision for themselves. Their food, their clothes, their friends, all dictated by someone else. Then they finally break free, and what happens? They become hyper-focused on making all the decisions. Suddenly, they don't just want control, they need it, because losing it feels like falling back into that prison. Then let's look at the pendulum swing from no power to total power. The overcorrection effect. Instead of finding balance, they go from zero control to total control. They don't trust anyone to lead them, so they dominate relationships. They're not trying to be cruel, they're trying to survive. And the subconscious belief, if I don't control, I will be controlled. Their biggest fear, being powerless again. An emotional example for you is if you were locked in your cage and when you finally got out, you wouldn't just walk freely, you'd probably build walls around yourself to make sure no one could ever trap you again. Do you know someone who's escaped a controlling relationship only to become the dominant one in their next relationship? Or maybe you recognize this in yourself. Now let's look at how this plays out in relationships. The battle for power. Here's 3 signs that someone has become controlling after being controlled. Firstly, they dominate all the decisions. Even small things like what to eat, where to go, must be their choice. Then, they don't handle disagreement well because control equals safety. A challenge feels like a threat. And then thirdly, they subconsciously test partners. They create situations where they can assert dominance to make sure they're not being controlled. I'd like you to imagine someone who grew up in a world where saying no was never an option. Now, as an adult, the moment their partner suggests something different, they feel an instant fight or flight reaction because to them, disagreement feels like losing control. Now let's look at breaking the cycle. How to find true freedom. The real secret. Control isn't freedom, it's just another prison. So let's look at how to stop it. Firstly, recognize the trigger. When does the need for control spike? Secondly, practice micro surrenders. Let go of control in small moments first. And thirdly, separate control from security. Learn that safety comes from emotional balance, not dominance. And the final emotional takeaway: real freedom isn't about making all the rules. Drop a comment below. Have you ever felt the need to control after escaping control? Let's talk about it. And if you're liking my content, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and the notifications bell on my channel. I have new videos coming out every other day of the week. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye.